Howdy, how you doing, everybody? It's me, Adan. I've been very sick recently, so sorry if I sound kind of weird. I don't have the energy to do funny hahas right now, but I will do my best to make a cool video for you guys. I decided to, because I've been doing D&D for a while now. I've learned through my process of becoming a DM and then a forever DM and then moving from physical to digital. I had to quickly and effectively acquire tools to create a world and a map for the world and characters to fill the world in and any and all kind of software and pages that help you do that, not only for important things that you want to have pre-planned, but for those very vital beat-to-beat moments on your games where you want to improvise stuff and you need a quick town name or a quick map of a random town your players decided to investigate because they think it's important, so you need to generate something for it. And so I asked you in a poll in the community tab. The first thing you guys wanted to see was this is Dungeon Draft. This is the first and foremost Dungeon Draft and its sister program. Wonder Draft are the main things I use for both dungeon map making and world map making. These are paid tools that get constantly updated. Before I even start with anything here, the first thing I want to talk about is how these programs have something called assets on them, which you might know or not. Assets are basically little things that you can add on them. So let's start a map, right? We're gonna make 25 tiles by 25 tiles. We give it okay, it will charge a little bit, just kind of loading the assets, and boom, here you can see we have a basic map. We can add a terrain, we can add objects to it. It has luminosity, it has shadows and lights. You can design walls and portals and caves. You can make roofs and floors. It's very good at what it does. And the cool thing is, if it comes with assets itself, like these assets you see right here, these are all assets that come with the program. Once you pay for the program, you will have enough assets to make a variety of maps for yourself without any need to do anything extra beyond paying for the program, and it will keep getting updated with new features in the future, so you can enjoy those too. The cool thing about this program, though, is that you can add assets to it. So these are the common assets that come with it. And let's go, for example, let's go to my Nightbrew Studio 1. Here you can see these ones look kind of different. Why is that? Well, the reason why they look different is because these are assets I paid for. There are pages on the internet you can go to, buy different assets and add them to your Dungeon Draft and Wonder Draft programs. And hey, maybe you paying for the program was enough, Adan, but I would never pay for assets. Don't worry, you can just draw your own assets. As long as you learn, you can look it up how to basically package the images, the translucent PNGs you have, package them into the format the assets need to be in to be accepted by Dungeon Draft. But once you do that, you can basically, the world is your oyster. You can make all of your assets yourself and enjoy a world where you don't have to pay for assets. You just have to make them yourself. This program is real good. Basically, you can find a lot for free. Many of the assets I have are free assets because I'm a cheap man. The way to my heart is the assets. So I recommend Dungeon Draft for dungeons. It has let me show you a little bit of what it does. You have a terrain tool that basically lets you immediately change the terrain, but if you go down a few levels, you can add different terrains. It's like a brush. You can basically paint it in, and you can make it as big as you want, like this. It gives a good, nice procedural effect to it. You can change the intensity and the brush size of it if you feel like it's a little faded. You have water brushes or just water cubes. You can just brush it though. You can just make brushes like this. But yeah, that's Dungeon Draft, and now I'm gonna be moving to Wonder Draft. If Adan post edit, Adan wants to edit that. This is Wonderdraft, the sister program. Oh, update available. Look at that. I was just talking about how often they get updated. Wonderdraft is Dungeon Draft program sister program, and it does maps, world maps. You can choose different themes, which I think is pretty neat. So you can go to theme. This is adventure theme. It has this cool little map on the background you can see, but you can go feudal and apply, and it changes basically the theme of the water, the lines, and all that stuff. Eastward, worn. It's pretty neat. You have tools like auto-generating terrain. If you don't feel like making your own, you can just generate a piece of it. Which, if you're trying to make a quick, maybe a one-shot map for your players to have, or some immersive stuff in area of the world that you don't care much for, or you know they're not gonna be coming back to. If you are doing a setting that doesn't happen in this area of the world and they're never going to be back, and you just need a quick thing that because your players asked for it, you can just auto-generate the terrain if you don't want to do that. Or if you like, you can invert it. If you think it's too on the sides, you can invert it. You can just brush it do it yourself. You can do a little bit of brushing like this. Basically, you do the center of it, and then you lower the size and you raise the sides of it, and you can smooth it out. You can do a lot of stuff with it. It's really good. But basically, you have free reign to do whatever you want with it. And you go, oh, but I don't like the color. No problem. You can always change the color of it. You dummy. You can just change the color of it. You can just paint it a different color you want. Look at this. It's nice. It's nice and neat. And you go, well, but it's pretty plain. How do they add the mountains? Well, you go to symbols, mountain symbol, and you can add little mountains. And the cool thing is, they will change the ones that are black and white. They will change color with the background you put them on. It's pretty neat. You can't say it's not neat. And it has this is great. It has a whole set of tools. It has a whole set of tools to make it look seamless when you connect them. Like little mountains and such. So it makes it actually look like a mountain range, which I really appreciate. It's really hard to do without the easing capabilities of this program. You can add a bunch of trees. You can add just tiny little trees to the side to be like, and these are normal trees, and these are the big ones. There's a lot of stuff in Wonderdraft that you can get, but you might go, but Adan, I cannot afford to pay for these programs. I know they're really great, but I don't have the money. And you know what, dude? I get it. It's not like I always use this. I am very new to these programs too, myself, a few years only. I used to not be able to afford them. And what did I do? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Post Adan cut. Okay, did you cut? Awesome, thank you. This is Donjon, Fantasy Town Generator. This is not going to be a tool you're going to use if you want to make your own kind of map. This is a tool you use if your players went into a town that you didn't plan on. And they go, and what's in the town? And you go, well, approximately around 1900 people, primarily humans, some halflings, blah blah blah. It gives you a neat description of the population, government, notable places, and a few NPCs for you to riff off of. And you can change, maybe make it coastal. What's in the environment? What is the most common species or even race of the place? It gives you a name. It gives you a general layout. You can right-click, copy the image if you just want to give them an image of it. You don't actually plan on giving them the description. This is a great tool. Has saved my ass because maps in D&D give a lot of character to the world, and players love getting their grubby little hands on maps. So even if you're not going to do a lot with a town, even if they're just going to be passing by, if your players ask for a map, this could save your ass and make them feel like the world is like a place, right? I've had a few players in the past collect the maps that I made of all the towns and kind of just go over them and be like, oh, look at all the places we want to. So I think it's pretty cool, gives them something to have, and you can always compendium yourself the maps on note-taking tools, which we will talk about in a future video because I have a lot of note-taking tools I use. ADHD brain, but yeah, this is a pretty good tool just to riff off of those moments of just coming up with stuff when your players ask something and they gotcha. You didn't plan on giving them the whole ass story of Herevere, the small town in the way to the big capital city they were going to. So this is a great tool. Moving on to the next, we have Increment. Increment is a really good tool for map making. It has a lot of similarities with Wonderdraft. It's very, very close to the feel Wonderdraft has. So I think if you're looking to make a world map, understand that Increment has a free version for you to use, which will not have all the assets, but the assets that the free version has should be more than enough for you to make beautiful maps. You can, if you want, pay for the pro version, but at that point, I would suggest just going for Wonderdraft. But if you're looking for a free option, the free version of it limits you in many ways, but rest assured that you can save both in the cloud and in your computer multiple different maps. As far as I remember, the only limit it has is that you have to delete all the saves if you want to make new maps, but you can do it infinitely with the limited assets it gives you. So it's a great tool to make, a world map if you don't have a lot of money, a little moolah. And there are many more map tools online, but these are the ones that I would personally suggest you use and get used to. And one thing that I want to say before I keep going, a thing with making maps is that videos like the one you're seeing right now in the Increment page, they make it look really easy. They make it look really easy to do. Everything is going to look so aesthetic and cool. It's not. It's like every other form of art. It's very hard. It takes a little bit of practice. It takes a lot of getting used to, especially depending on which tools you're using and how you're limited on using them. So please, for the love of God, if you're really, really, really interested in this, have a little bit of patience. That's all you need. Just a little bit of patience. I promise it might seem like a lost cause. You might go, I don't have it in me. But at the end of the day, if you're into D&D, if you're into any ttrpg that requires maps or benefits from maps, and you're a DM and you want to do it, I recommend you do it. The first few maps might not look as good. The first few times might not be as easy for you, might be tiring. But it gets easy every time. It gets easy every single time you start over or you do a new one. So just go for it. Oh, what's this? This is not a fantasy map. Adan, I thought we were doing fantasy maps. Is this geography class? No. This is so the following, I'm going to be doing it on Paint Tool side, which is a paid program. But as long as you find any image editing or drawing programs with layers and opacity on the layers, let me adjust this in real time. Wow. Like this, layers like this up in here. As long as they had layers like this up in here, you will be fine. You just need layers and opacity, and you should be able to do what I'm about to do. So let's say, Adan, I don't have the money to pay for Wonderdraft. I don't have the money to pay for Dungeon Draft, and I don't have the Wi-Fi power to run Increment or the random town generator. Fret not, my friend. As long as you have enough megabytes of internet to download one silly image, you can just download a world image map, paste it on your editing program of choosing. You go to the layers, you add a new layer on top of it, like right here, you can see it right there. You go to the layer below it, you lower the opacity, and you just zoom in, and you just go, okay, let's see, what do I want in my world? I want this coast in my world right here. I want that. So I'm just gonna take this right here. I want all of Chile and Argentina. Yeah, I'm gonna take all that. Thank you. Oh, Buenos Aires. Ciao, Buenos Aires. All this, you're going to Brazil too. My players are going to Brazil. We can leave the middle Central America there. You can have that. Boom. We just stole all of this beauty right here. Most of South America. If you rotate the image, please. Oh, what is he doing? This is so crazy. Now I want a little bit of one of the best continents in the world. Right here. I'm gonna take this. It's gonna look so cool. I'm taking two of the coolest looking continents in the world. And then you just... This is a whole new continent. You can edit it. You can edit all you want. You can just do that with the whole map. If you don't have the interwebs to do Increment, you can always just use a real drawing of the real world and your little mouse. I'm using a mouse, by the way. I'm not even using a tablet or anything special. You just put it in a drawing app. And you can just trace your way into a really cool looking map. You can trace most of the continents and mishmash them together if you feel like it. At the end of the day, the world is your oyster, and only limitation is your imagination. These are the tools I use for world building, and I hope they helped you build the world. We will get back for the next time, where I will be talking about how to break the Geneva Convention with your players and not go to jail. Bye bye.